Collectibles. What is it about them that we just love so much? Specifically video game collectibles. You see it all the time and they've been around really since the beginning of games consoles with the original Super Nintendo, the N64, that kind of era where you got the coveted gold cartridge of The Legend of Zelda. Sadly, I do not have that as part of my collection, but I do have some other fantastic pieces in this collection, and the video today is going to be a little bit of a run through of some of my favorite ones. As you can see, we have Geralt, we have the Master Chief helmet from Halo 3, we have the music box from Ninokuni 2, and we have the Mafia 3 Collector's Edition. Now, we're going to be doing a bit of a closer look at each of these pieces, as well as some other pieces that I have in the display cabinet behind me. So this is going to be a bit of a fun video. Strap yourselves in, it could be a long one, but we're going to have some really good fun diving into these pieces. So here we go. Halo 3, what can really be said about the powerhouse that was the Halo IP? Back in 2007, this title launched for the Xbox 360, and it was the first time that a Halo game had been brought onto the next generation of consoles at the time. Up until that point, it was Halo 1 and Halo 2 on the original Xbox, but all eyes were on Halo 3. What could Bungie do with the brand new technology of the Xbox 360? The previous year, we had been blown away as gamers with the likes of Gears of War from Epic Games, and that was very quickly becoming the new torchbearer for the Xbox brand. But 2007, it was all about the Master Chief, the big green meanie, as I like to refer to him a little bit. And this was one of the first collector's editions that I actually got. Up until that point, I had enjoyed getting maybe the more kind of limited edition ones, and that was usually just the game with a lot of kind of smaller scale collectible pieces with it, but it came with like a steel book, and that was kind of it. But this one, as soon as I saw the not quite life-size helmet of the Master Chief, I just had to get it. So this was really one of the first proper collector's editions that I actually got, and it's just fantastic. The only thing is that it's not life-size, so you can't actually wear it, which is a damn travesty, but if you can actually slot it off and you can hold it, and it just looks incredible. It is a perfectly solid molded piece of polycarbonate, and it's got this wonderful like solar visor on the front as well. I'm sure you're getting a lot of reflections of the camera and stuff like that. But inside was basically like a DVD storage case as well. So it takes a couple of DVDs, obviously the game was in there, and some bonus DVDs, etc. And it was just, if I can get this thing back on, hold on, there we go, slides back on. It was just super cool, and I have that as one of the real pride of placements in the studio here. I just love it, it's wicked. But sadly, it's not life-size, I can't wear it, but other developers did take note of the desire to want to wear these things. So, the Titanfall 2 Collector's Edition got a life-size helmet. Doom Eternal recently, its Collector's Edition got the Doomslayer's helmet, a life-size 1-to-1 replica. So maybe with Halo Infinite, can we hope and dream that we get a life-size Master Chief helmet? Who knows, but this thing is pretty incredible. So let's take a closer spin around. It has a itemized serial number here. They're all numbered, of course. This one is 297605. Obviously, quite a lot of these were produced. Can you imagine if you were lucky enough to get number 117 in the production line? That would just be like the ultimate eBay find, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, there's not really much else to it. So there's something just awesome about having this huge helmet just sitting there to the side of your gaming setup. I love it. It's wicked. Okay, moving forward in no particular order is the collector's edition of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So this came out in 2015, so quite a jump forward. I'm doing these in no particular order, it's really just my favourite ones. And the Griffin battle with Geralt, our Witcher, was the main figurehead of this collector's edition. And it is a gorgeously detailed sculpture. As you can see, Geralt has got a knee in the back of the Griffin, he's over the top of it, getting stuck in with his silver blade, and it is just this beautiful piece, just intricately molded. and it's just a real cornerstone of the the visual identity of the Wild Hunt. It's the first sort of boss that you really face off in the game, and it really does set the tone for one of the greatest RPGs easily of the decade. So kudos to CD Projekt Red, and it is pretty solid. It is quite a heavy piece of molding, and yeah, it's just beautiful. I really like it. So moving quickly on to the next one. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit of a curveball because it's not a game that you would think about as having a truly spectacular collector's edition, and it is Mafia 3. 2K Games brought this out with Hangar 13 Studios as the developer behind it, and the Mafia series has been a long coveted franchise, but for some reason Mafia 3 had some issues. It didn't review terribly well, but I personally loved it, and this collector's edition is really quite stunning. So let's open up this huge box and we'll dive in and see what features were. You can see inside we have a full range of what looks like books, but they're not just books, they're something very special indeed. So one of the things I love about this collector's edition is that you get a full-size collection of art books, and that's very rare. You usually get like a scaled down version, a little miniature version, but this is a full size. As you can see, it's massive. So if we take a little bit of a look, we'll have to move Geralt out of the way though. And I'll just open these up for you, and we'll just take a look at some of the pages, skipping forward. Lots of incredible environment design here. All the locations, the architecture, there's a lot of character development as well, but this one is all about the environment, I think. And you get a really good look at what goes into creating some of these games. I love all the signage as well. If I just hold that up, you can get a real feel for the era as well. All the classic like dock worker signage and emblems. A real great collector piece. So that's just one of the books. Put that to the side. Second up, we have the main box, which is huge, and this actually housed the game. So inside there, your game disc would sit there, but you also get a set of collectible cards, and in here it is, if I can pry these out, a set of coasters from Sammy's Bar, and you could also get as part of an additional collector piece is actual bar tumblers and a set of dog tags from Lincoln. It's just a fantastic piece, but it doesn't end there. There's more. These are incredibly special. So there's 3 of these entirely. We'll take that out. And this is the original game score. Actually, the LPs just came out. So if we take that out. So Cassandra, the Voodoo Queen, makes the cover there. And as you can see, we have a set of proper vinyls of the soundtrack. Now, if anybody has played the game, you'll be familiar with just how good the soundtrack is. Take a look at that, it's just beautiful. Proper vinyl. So that is one. Then we also have a second one, which is the official soundtrack again. Just beautiful. We'll take this out very carefully. We don't want to mark it up or anything. You get a really good look at it. Hold it by the edges. You can see there. Just incredible. And finally, we have a set of collectible art prints. Now, I'm not going to show you these because if you have played the game, you'll be familiar with a number of Playboy posters that you can collect from the era of the 1960s, and of course that's what is on each of these. So I'm just going to check them, make sure they're, PG. That's actually not too bad. So that's quite tame. But anyway, you can get a really good look at that. So it is these, 1950s, 1960s pinup girls. Which are a collectible in the game as well. So you get a full-size set of prints to add to your collection as well. So that is easily one of my standout pieces as a collector's edition, and what I love about it is that it does something that is very non-traditional. typically you get a statue, and that's kind of standard for collector's editions, but 2K Games and Hangar 13 did something very different by giving you LPs and art books, and I really love that direction as a collector's edition. So another edition which I was totally blown away with, and I wasn't expecting it to be this good, was Ninokuni 2, The Revenant Kingdom, and it is the King's Edition. Now it comes with this incredible and beautiful little music box, which we'll turn on later to let you hear the tune out of it. But I wasn't expecting it again to come with a full-size concept art book, and it is just beautiful. Very similar in terms of a collector's edition to the Mafia 3 collection, where it doesn't give you the skipped down version, it gives you a proper full-size version. So let's take a look very quickly inside this. So if we open up, look, I mean, this thing is huge. It's much thicker than a typical concept art book. And what I love about this series, Ninokuni, the first game, The Wrath of the White Witch, was one of my favorite games on the last generation, the PlayStation 3. And I was so excited when a sequel was announced, and this is just beautiful because it is that Studio Ghibli, Hayao Miyazaki's style of animated films which are just incredible. And hopefully you're getting a really good look at just some of the character design, some of the world design, and it is just a book that you want to pore over. It's just fantastic. It's just such a gorgeous style. Let's see if we can find some of the environments as well. It is just a beautiful piece to have in your collection, especially if, like me, you are a sucker for concept art books, which I have a little bit far too many. And maybe we'll do another video looking specifically at concept art books. But that is a beautiful, beautiful piece to have. But that's not the only thing. If we spin the box over, it's an absolutely ginormous box. And you would think that is just to house the concept art book and the music box, but it's not, there is more. What we are greeted with when you open the box, if I can just get the little tie out, which I have, there we go. So you are greeted with a sketch of our king. Just beautiful. But if I open this up, this is just such a surprise. Look at that. You actually have a pop-up, like panorama design. It's beautiful. Really, really something. And I was not expecting that at all. But that's not the only thing. Again, if I take this out, move that to the side, we have a gorgeous steel case, which is not always good. You don't always get a steel tin with a collector's edition. And this was the box. If I can very carefully pry it out. This was the box for the music box. And I love that it is like a watercolor illustration all the way around. It's just so in keeping and so well thought out with the style of the game. But if we go back to this pop-up, it is not just a pop-up and nothing else. There is something very special hidden away inside. If I just slide this out, it is another LP vinyl of the soundtrack of the game. And it's not just any vinyl, like the Mafia ones where you just had the classic, black exterior of the vinyl with the sticker in the middle. This is a fully designed and printed LP. Let's see if we can get a really good close-up of that. And it is just beautiful. It's actually printed onto the vinyl, and on the back, of course, it's a double-sided print. And unfortunately, it's not something I'm probably ever going to want to play because, the needle mark of your record player will scratch that up, and it's just too beautiful to damage in any way. So that is a look at the King's Edition of Ninokuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, a truly phenomenal piece to have in your collection. But as promised, we were going to show you, or let you listen to the actual music box and its tune. Check this out. just so lovely, a little melody that comes out of that music box. Okay, the last piece I'm going to show you today is the collector's edition from Batman Arkham Origins. It is not one of the mainline games which you maybe would expect. Maybe you're expecting Arkham City or Arkham Asylum or even Arkham Knight, but it's actually the spin-off title, Arkham Origins, and for the longest time this was only available in the US, but I managed to find an Amazon Marketplace seller who had already imported it and then just wanted to get rid of it. And I guess it was, it was brand new, it was all still sealed, but I managed to get this for an absolute steal. It was heavily discounted, so I took one look at it and just snapped it up, because not only do you get this incredible Joker statue with all the TVs in the background, there is a full fresco of other little bits to it as well. So let's take a closer look. So a cool thing that I was not expecting are these little evidence bags, and in here, I don't know if this is going to come out on camera, but in here we actually have a tooth from Killer Croc, and it is fully marked up with proper evidence details. You know, GCPD, to be opened by authorized personnel only, and it's got evidence description, forensic dental, possible missing person, location, Dixon Docks, and the search officer, their details are in there as well. And we also have a casino chip. It's just fantastic. Evidence description, the final offer, 10k casino chip. So that's obviously from Black Mask, I'm guessing, is the final offer. Possibly, I'm not sure. I mean, all of these little details are so cool. If I actually lift up the statue itself, you can hopefully see, I'll hold that towards camera too, there's the Joker's handgun on the table, there's a wanted poster, there is a suitcase full of cash, and there's stuff on the floor as well. All of these, you know, contract posters, One Night to Kill the Bat, 50 million, a headless teddy bear down there, and of course Joker leering over the table very menacingly. But there are other things that you get in this set as well. You get a really cool blueprint of the Batwing, which is really quite cool. It's just a printed sheet that looks like an extra, not an X-ray, an actual schematic, which is pretty awesome. And you get the actual, if I separate this, you actually get the wanted poster from GCPD, because at the time, the Batman is not fully kind of embraced by the police department and the citizens of Gotham City. He's still kind of wanted vigilante. So you've got the actual wanted poster there. And you have the map of Gotham City, all graffitied up because, oh, holding it upside down, I beg your pardon, there we go. You get the map graffitied up by Anarchy, who is a character in the game as well. But there's more. Can you believe there's more? Yes, there is more. I love this one. So, we mentioned Anarchy as a character that guests in the game, but you also get an actual Anarchy stencil, which you can use to spray paint as well. Not that we would, we'll just keep it as part of the collection, but you get that. You also get the Wayne family portrait picture as a print as well, which is quite incredible. And you get a message, a cryptic message that says, "You made the cut, don't fail me." Interesting, sinister. But still more, ladies and gentlemen, you get an assassin agreement letter. And then finally, all of the dossiers from the GCPD lockup of the characters. So that was Copperhead. We have a dossier on Bane. We have one on Deathstroke as well. We also have Firefly. I'll hold that up for you and get a good look. We have Deadshot's dossier. Again, the detail that has gone into this collector's edition is just phenomenal. We have Shiva. We have the Electrocutioner right here. We of course have Killer Croc. And finally, it is the contract poster that gets handed out by Black Mask to all of these dossier recipients. Just incredible. So that is just a phenomenal collection of stuff, basically. A really, really incredible detail. So kudos to Warner Brothers for basically delivering a set such as this. So there you go, guys. That is just a few of my favorite collectibles. I have lots more. As you can see on the bookcase behind me, I have Aloy, I have Kratos, I have some Assassin's Creed statues, all which are fantastic, but I think probably these are my favorite, especially the Batman one. I mean, for crying out loud, this thing lights up, for goodness sake. If you have enjoyed the video, then do be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, then of course, leave them in the comments and we'll do our best to try and reply to you and give you some more information. But for now, guys, take care and have a good one.